Today, through the Modify SIM Clear campaign, Uganda Communication Commission has joined the rest of the world to fight against the use of substandard mobile communication devices. These include fake smartphones that are branded as copies on the market, as well as substandard feature phones that often use popular brand identification such as Nokia, among others. Speaking to BTM Television about the relevancy of the campaign, Mr. Fred Otunu, Director of Corporate Affairs at Uganda Communication Commission, says the quest is to erase the negative effects of the counterfeits.
We launched a campaign which is called SIM Clear. This campaign is intended to empower citizens to refrain themselves from purchasing counterfeit phones or illegitimate phones. And we think it is gaining traction. There is acceptance in terms of from our stakeholders, and stakeholders are many here.
Dr. Joshua Mtambi, a Commissioner of Processing and Marketing at Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives of Uganda, has attributed the high rates of counterfeit products on market to a ton of flops, but among these, the key was porous borders.
Of course, our borders are porous. We have our customs and the custom management officers that manage our borders, but being porous, sometimes some of the goods come in and find their way on our markets. And but also, we have our Bureau of Standards that are supposed to check, and also the customs. But remember that Bureau of Standards, for them, they will be following the standards. There's a difference between standards and counterfeit. So, and the efforts are being made to have the anti-counterfeit law, which is still in the process, I think, in Parliament. And we hope that working together with our colleagues, this can be handled.
Speaking at the same gathering, Dr. Njoroge Mbugua, the Executive Director of Kenya's Anti-Counterfeit Authority, highlights some of the effects of counterfeits.
Goods affect consumers directly because some of the goods that they are consuming do not meet certain standards in terms of health well-being of the consumers. Two, they also have an impact on environment, on what we call e-waste. Meaning that these goods, sometimes their lifespan is short, meaning that they keep on piling, and thereby creating a lot of pressure on our environment.
But it affects both the human beings that use the gadgets, the environment in which the gadgets are probably disposed into, and so on.
Speaking to some phone dealers, brokers and consumers on whether they can differentiate fake phones from original ones and the challenges they face, this is what they had to say.
The fake phones are still on the market due to, let me term it in terms of ignorance, because some of our clients want phones which are very cheap.
Are really fake. So we need those people to bring phones that are going to work for us.
The pinch of counterfeit affects a range and chain of persons from consumers, manufacturers, traders, and as well as the government, as Uganda loses 6 trillion Ugandan shillings and over 60 billion Kenyan shillings is lost by the Kenyan government, with 83.5% of Uganda's population aged between 15 years to 29 years engaged in low-income informal sector and currently rewarding counterfeit businesses which not only possess a threat to intellectual property but jeopardizes innovation and undermines legitimate business and also causes a high risk to consumer health and safety. Derek Kabyanga, Ashraf Munduga for BTM News.